Hello and welcome back to Ben and Mike's Film Room. And we just saw Thor: The Dark World.
Boy, did we ever. It's been a long time since I watched it. And I have to say, it's still pretty forgettable.
Yeah. It's very... Give me a minute.
Okay, so while you take your minute, I'm going to Google it. Thor: The Dark World. A 2013 superhero movie. Based on Marvel characters Thor, produced by Marvel Studios, and distributed by Walt Disney Studio Motion Pictures.
I don't think that's the...
No, that is not the plot.
No, it's under the section labeled plot.
Thor clashes with Dark Elf Malekith, and they win. Today, Loki is imprisoned for his crimes for being bad.
This doesn't sound stilted at all.
Meanwhile, Thor is repelling people in Vanaheim, which is the land of Hogan. He is in Vanaheim, planet Japan. And they fight a cool rock monster. Very cool.
We debated whether or not it was Korg. It was not.
Well, it may be the same species?
I'm fairly certain it is.
But if it is, I have so many questions about the Nine Realms. In London, Jane Foster is doing some science stuff. They find this weird gravitational situation. Dr. Selvig is losing his mind.
He's naked.
He's naked for no reason. And the ether goes, she goes to an alternate place where the ether is, and it, goes into her bod to come to the world. Meanwhile, Malekith wakes up because of it. They start to attack. They want the ether. Thor's really dumb. He has a dumb idea. Let's bring the ether to him, and then when he's taking it, we'll hit him really hard and win. That was his plan. And he executes said plan against everyone's intentions and wishes. And spoilers, it didn't work. But luckily, he hits it really hard again later, so it does work.
Good.
That's my summary.
I really hope this doesn't turn out as bad as the other Thor podcast we did.
Hey.
That was bad. You will not argue it.
I'm not saying the pod was bad. I'm just saying we took too long to watch that one. We watched this movie yesterday.
True.
So if we can't remember a movie after 24 hours, that's really on the movie's fault, not ours. So.
Debatable.
When did you watch this movie originally?
Well, I first saw it in theaters when it came out with our dad.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I came out liking it. 6 years ago is so long ago.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
So you remember liking it?
Yes, but this wasn't my second viewing of it. I bought the DVD of it a few years ago and watched it then. I thought I liked it. But I don't know. It's a very... The Thor movies have been divisive amongst audiences, really. This one definitely leans more to the negative side of people. Some people just despise the first two Thor movies, both of them. And that's why they changed it in Ragnarok, you know?
Yeah, the pacing in general changes quite a bit. I mean, also the language. You can't deny he's still saying eths and this and thee and thou and thine and all that stuff.
It's still very dramatic. Theatrical.
Which also implies there's not a ton of improvisation going on. Because if there was, it's pretty hard to improvise in that talk unless you've done it a ton. And I'm really doubtful that Chris Hemsworth has done that.
Yes. Also, this movie was originally going to be directed by Patty Jenkins, apparently.
Who is Patty Jenkins?
Do you not remember what I told you yesterday?
No. And it's for the pod.
She's the director of Wonder Woman.
Oh, that seems like a miss. Seems like a huge miss.
In retrospect, yeah. I can't remember if it's a different guy or the same guy from the last one. I don't think it is.
So a different person directed this one than the first one, and a different person than that directed the third one. So Thor's kind of had a rocky history here.
Yeah, but I mean, for Captain America, No.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I think.
to give it
Yeah.
my memories of the movie, I remember seeing this in theaters, and it was just fine. I kind of got lost in a little bit. I was very, very interested in all the things about the Nine Realms and Asgard
Yeah,
and the Dark Elves and stuff, and then, just kidding, it's actually on Earth where this thing is happening. It could have happened anywhere. It could have happened on any of the realms. We could have gone to a whole different realm that we've never been to, but no, we've got to go to England
Ingiland.
in Greenwich. Of all the places on the entire globe, we go to Greenwich where the meridian line is.
Which they don't even use the Ferris wheel for any form of destruction.
In London?
Yes, in the movie.
Greenwich isn't in London.
Oh. At the beginning they are at the beginning they are in London.
That's pretty great.
At the beginning they are in London.
So let's talk about characters in the movie. Obviously the main developed character
Padme.
is Padme, and also Chris Hemsworth, Thor.
Yes. Is that his name? I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure he's the best Hemsworth, as far as I know.
Are there more? Is there more than one?
Are you serious? He has a brother
I know
who's in Hunger Games.
I know there's two.
I think there's even a third brother.
Um,
But I don't care about that.
Yeah, you didn't see, what was it? Independence Day 2.
Independence Day 2, the third Hemsworth?
It's one of the Hemsworths.
I'm sorry.
I think Liam Hemsworth was in that one.
Okay, please hold while I Google. Independence Day Resurgence. Casting, maybe? This is not what I wanted.
The IMDb, Ben, it's the Google of movies.
It is much better than already the Wikipedia I was in, but... Independence Day Resurgence. 2016.
Liam Hemsworth, yes. Jake Morrison.
Yeah, Liam Hemsworth is Gale from Hunger Games.
Is he the guy that was in the first movie and that was it?
He was in the other ones, just
don't-
way less. She was super obsessed with PETA the rest of the movies, but
You're a
he was
terrible
like
organization. And a terrible bread.
PETA! Oh wow, that was good.
Yeah, so clever. This movie is boring.
So, so the character development, the most interesting character development is totally wasted, I think. Like, Thor moves along from, in the first one at the end, he's like, hey, I have so much to learn to become the king, whatever. And then by the end of the second one, he says, I renounce the throne. I am not interested in that. I just want to be with Jane Foster.
I think he said...
To
I got some
what
phlegm.
turns out to be Loki.
Yes.
He says that.
Yes. But he says that he can't protect Asgard from the throne, I think he says. And okay, I need to talk about the Nine Realms because it might be pedantic, I think the word is.
Yes.
But what are they? Like, are they 9 planets? Are they 9? Because Asgard is not a planet.
After much debate, I'm almost certain. Well,
Because
Asgard isn't a planet, right? It's a water thing, right? There's a big thing of water, and
floating.
When they come to it, it's like water, and it flips upside down and reveals to be Asgard.
Also, in the third
right?
one, we see it. Yeah.
So it's definitely not a planet. Jotunheim looks like a moon.
Yes, it looks like a moon.
Midgar is Earth?
Yes, I believe so. So it's a planet. It's a single.
Each place looks like a planet, but where?
It's a single floating rock in space that houses life.
And they do not address this at all in Thor Ragnarok. But what realm is the Guardians of the Galaxy in?
I don't know.
Are they in Midgar?
What qualifies as a realm? Is it just the one that they've conquered, so to speak?
So,
that they've...
Fan theory here. I don't know what comic books say, and...
I don't either.
You probably should just Google it, but my personal theory is it's a galaxy. Each realm is its own galaxy. That would explain why it takes crazy time to travel, and you have to use the Bifrost,
Yeah, which
but
looks like a Steven Universe teleport beam.
Doesn't quite explain, like, and that's why they still have spaceships. They know and have spaceships to use, but they don't use them to travel to those places. So it makes sense to me that it's a different galaxy. Now let's look.
I don't know.
The 9 Realms
Marvel.
MCU.
No, look up Marvel. It'll tell you more.
Well, I know, but I just want to know. The 9 Realms are a group of distant planets that are interconnected by cosmic nimbus Yggdrasil and are home to various different races and cultures.
You got Yggdrasil from a Y and 2 G's next to each other?
That's how you say it.
Excuse me, I don't speak Norse.
I'm sorry, I just happen to be cultured. So it appears 9 Realms are individual worlds that, while located in separate spiral galaxies, are systematically connected to the branches of Yggdrasil and orbit Midgard. Sorry.
Earth,
The inhabitants of realms The inhabitants of the realm are mostly associated with each other rather than other advanced species residing beyond the realms. Earth, where humanity resides, is one of the 9 realms, but its inhabitants are considered to be too underdeveloped by the other races to associate with.
Does that mean Earth is Winkershim?
Actually, everything is Wankershim, so it's always been Wankershim.
Yes, exactly.
Let me see.
If you don't understand that, we are not going to explain it.
In honesty, it's the first season's the only good one.
Shh, don't say.
Personal opinion?
I haven't seen any of the others except season 2.
So they look like they're key planets, but they're on different galaxies.
Okay.
So I was technically right, and you were technically right. We're both right. Boo.
Boo. Wait, I win!
It is more right because you are more accurate because they are planets, but they're key planets unique to their galaxy. So
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy,
Technically Midgar.
technically, well, Midgar isn't the tree. What the heck? Where's the thing?
World Tree.
Yes, Earth is the third planet from the sun. It's one of the 9 realms. The various races of 9 realms refer to the Earth as Midgard, while those living beyond the realms call it Terra. Earth orbits around a
This
single
is
sun.
much more interesting than the movie.
It's true. Well, this is the stuff I was interested in at the start of the movie.
And
we talked about these dark elves, and they're like, ooh, before the creation of the universe, before the 9 realms, there was darkness, and the dark elves were there. And
we're like one of the
the
first.
ether, and you're like, ooh, I'm interested in that stuff. And he's bad, and we must destroy him. You're like,
Also, I only know the bad guy, and I can only remember his name because 1, I'm an MCU fanboy, and 2, it is Christopher Eccleston, the 9th Doctor from Doctor Who.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you can't really tell by looking at him.
I mean, you can tell it when he's speaking English. If you know Doctor Who, if you know Christopher Eccleston's voice, you know that's him. But yeah, because like the makeup is good. We can say that. Like,
oh yeah, it was really cool.
The makeup in all of these movies, when they do makeup, it's always good.
The dark elves were cool. I have to say, the armor is really creepy and interesting because they have like black circles over their eyes, so everything is darker for them.
Yeah.
So they don't have to deal with the light. It was really it's creepy.
It's kind of Lord of the Rings orc-esque, you know.
And they do talk like they're orcs.
They're elves, though, Ben.
But dark elves. I don't know if you know this, but originally orcs were just corrupted by...
I know this. They are literally deformed elves.
Yeah, so...
I learned that from Cracked.
It's not Malekith. The name of the bad guy, not Sauron.
Saruman?
Before that, it's not Moloch either. It's like Malek or something like that.
We cannot say on one topic, can we?
Rami Malek. That's
Rami Malek. It was him all along.
The founder of the orcs.
It was him all along.
You can tell from his fabulous performance.
Mr. Bad Robot.
Also Freddie Mercury.
Yes, Freddie Mercury, but he was also in what was the video game Until Dawn.
So I was the most interested in the. Oh, he was like the bad guy, wasn't he?
He tried to teach his friends a lesson, but then the monsters came.
Oh, bummer. So to focus back on what we were talking about,
This very forgettable movie.
we've kind of gone all over the place. I was most interested in the lore and the background, and we almost didn't touch it. There is a convergence; it makes things float.
And
That was the most important part.
Yes, and it's a circle. And
They were always circles.
It's only in one spot.
For a 7-minute time window
It's a solar eclipse.
of the heart. Hey,
The solar eclipse of the heart. Oh no, I'm not gonna say anymore.
so to solve the problem, what's her name? Jane Foster reprograms the sensors so that they can create disturbances through no known method recorded, and that it makes tiny portals wherever they put the sticks, and so they can stall Malekith long enough that he doesn't destroy the universe with the weapon Thor totally accidentally gave to him,
Yeah, I mean,
thus winning.
he stabs them through Malekith, that he gets his arm decapitated. That being our second Star Wars reference.
He does. He cuts off the hand, and you see the bones.
Which
That was intense.
I didn't notice it.
Oh, I couldn't help but notice it. I noticed it when I watched it in theaters too. It was really
But
strong.
you could argue that doesn't count because it's a hologram.
It was a hologram.
But
and there's no blood.
Malekith gets his arm chopped off from teleporty, stab.
Everybody loses an arm here.
Yep. And the next one is Bucky.
Hey, spoilers.
What?
But so the plot is easy enough. There's a big event, and the villain's trying to use special events,
I'll tell you why
they thwart him.
I'll tell you why this movie was bad. It was directed by the same guy who did Terminator Genesis.
Oh,
Genesis.
Genesis. There we go.
But he also did some Game of Thrones episodes, so who knows?
I don't know. But I will say that positive things about the movie include Darcy. They used her more. They layered on the ham, so she was just allowed to be funny. I mean, she even referenced Mew Mew again, which was just a treat.
Yes, I enjoyed the first Mew Mew, but it's always peeved me about names in really anything, whether you're like it's Mjolnir. If you hear it, if you're reading it off a page, I will forgive you. But it makes me it makes me fairly irritated when someone can't remember how a thing is pronounced after you hear it.
Well, if it's in another language, it makes some sense that you wouldn't be able to pronounce it properly, or that you'd remember it as a different
But
thing.
you're hearing it in a somewhat American accent.
But
Australian?
Mew Mew.
What is Thor's accent? Does he have an accent?
Not as Thor, but I think he's Australian.
I mean, he is Australian.
Yeah.
He was on some Australian, not soap opera, but he was on the equivalent of. Oh my gosh, I have to look this up now. Continue to speak.
Okay. So I think positive things in the film. I loved all the time in Asgard. I had super fun in Vanaheim when they're fighting. I don't really know why they're fighting, except that there was chaos in the realms. He beat that big stone guy. He's like, "Oh, accept your surrender." You're like, "Oh, I love this."
Oh,
and
yeah.
he just destroys him super gone.
Yeah.
You're like, "Ooh, so strong." Ooh, ah.
Yeah, another thing I liked. Well, the thing I really liked about Thor in the movie was mainly the quips. He didn't have any memorable lines, really, except when talking to Loki.
Loki, the scene where he breaks them out, and
Yeah, it's
he's doing the needless transforming because he's
surging through me.
and he's pretending to be
God
Captain
bless
America. Yeah, super funny that he'd just dive in there. What else? What else was really fun?
I enjoyed
The flying away part where where Loki's just constantly heckling him.
Yes.
And
You just decapitated your grandfather.
Yeah, you're like,
what is with your sass in this situation?
he just can't help himself, I think, and that's what I like about it.
I mean, this.
What else?
I really enjoyed the part like I really value comedy just with words, like not necessarily just
Like
followed
jokes that land later because they were so funny.
like the you all return to your cells and none of you will be harmed. You have my word, and then someone punches them. Evidently, you do not have my word.
I also liked.
Also,
It's like they despise being imprisoned.
it's as if they regret being imprisoned.
It's just thank
Which
you,
I keep-
new guy.
Which is one of the guys they replaced. We don't even know his name.
I'm looking it up.
His character name.
Thor, Dark World.
Warrior History. I kept calling him Robin of Locksley from what is it? Men in Tights. He kept reminding me of that because I have an English accent.
I think that's
That is a
the,
mug shot if I've ever seen one.
I think that's the
He was in
dwarf.
Three Musketeers!
I think that's the dwarf, and this is.
And he's in No, that's a different person. That's Zachary Levi.
Wait, what was he in Thor? He was Fandral. So
Fandral.
Fandral.
I think he was the blonde
Nailed it,
from the first one?
dude. No, just the second one. It's freaking Shazam.
Yeah, Shazam is in this movie.
He said one of the funniest lines is as if they.
So it's confirmed Shazam will be a 10 out of 10.
I think it does show that Shazam is in the MCU.
Yes, well, he is Captain Marvel.
There it is.
I can't wait for the Captain
Isn't
Marvel.
he Tom Hanks in Big?
That's what this movie is based. It's big with superpowers. The point is, this Marvel film.
The one we're actually talking about, Thor: The Dark World.
So many more things are more interesting than this film. That's what this podcast is telling you. If you're still listening, which
Okay.
I doubt you are.
Well, let's wrap it up then and just talk about the things we didn't like. I have to say,
wow.
here's a plot point that I found inadequate. It was, remember when the dark elf guy was stabbed and they gave him the little rock so he could sneak it into the place?
Yeah, what?
And yeah, it's like a special rock that transforms you into a killer monster.
Yeah, but why?
Why didn't he come in as a killer monster?
Or why?
What was gonna stop him?
Why didn't he stab himself soon, like later?
Why did he stab himself at all? Why didn't he just turn into the big monster and then go in?
Maybe it has to be like into the blood.
Well, it doesn't seem to be that way. Plus, so not only does that make no sense, second thing is, how do you break the floaty gold shield of the prison cell, right? In the first time, he broke it with someone's face.
5,000-year-old technology, that's how.
He broke it with someone's face, and then the second time he just, like, punches it hard. You're like, that's it?
Well, he's on the outside.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, like,
Disregard that plot hole.
You know how bars don't work when you're on the outside of the prison?
It's true. Well, on the outside, you can turn the key and open the door.
Which, punching it is the key.
Yes, that's how Asgard do.
That's how the American prison system works.
When I was watching it, I said, hey, I thought you had to, like, throw a face in it or something. But, that aside, another plot hole I noticed is, why is Selvig wearing no pants?
That's something I said. Why was he even naked? He said that, like, having a god in your head messes you up. But narratively,
And he
why
drinks
was
green juice in a pill bottle? Why is there green juice in that pill bottle that he drinks?
I don't know.
And then he throws the rest of the medicine away. What is the green juice? I just want to know.
I don't know. Ovaltine?
It's definitely not. It's some wheatgrass shot garbage.
Heroin.
Definitely heroin, the green heroin. It's like
blend-
blue meth, but green.
blended weed.
There it is.
Could you make a weed smoothie?
Of course you could. You can make a weed anything.
We do not advise drug use here.
We're anti-drug use.
We are anti.
Dare to stay off drugs, kids.
We talk about
Nitpicks. Other nitpicks. Any other nitpicks?
This movie's stupid.
Oh, the ether. Why is the ether said to be a liquid, but when they're fighting with it, it's always like spiky glass?
Well, I mean,
I know that's more dangerous and
it's-
stuff, but come on, it's a liquid!
also another thing, it's the reality stone.
We don't know that yet.
But factually it is.
Yeah, that's why it's a liquid.
Yes. But
Well, and they even officially say it at the end of this movie. They already know
They
it's an
say-
Infinity Stone.
yes, but
They also identify the Tesseract as an Infinity Stone, which is news to us.
Is
as
it though?
fans. As fans,
I think we assumed at that point.
well, of course we were thinking that thing, but we didn't know it officially until they went to the very wavy arms collector.
Yes, who is brothers with Jeff Goldblum in real life?
Not in real life.
You don't know. It
Like,
could be true.
Aren't the characters connected in Marvel?
Yes, they both have a line on their lip.
Yes, I think that's evidence enough.
Yes, clearly.
Oh, good. Hogan makes an appearance.
This entire thing we've been looking at the Wikipedia and the IMDb because we don't. This movie is so forgettable, and it doesn't have a lot of value.
Well, the thing is, like, there's so many things that are left behind for dead.
You could watch this movie and just you think you enjoy it while you're watching. Even you can convince yourself that you enjoy the movie, but then you're like, wait, was this even a movie? What was the point of this movie? What did it do?
Well, I think that's a great connection, is that, when Iron Man 3 came out, you're like, oh, I think I understand the format here. We have an Avengers movie, and then we have 4 movies that don't relate to each other at all, and then we come back at the end, and we have a big Avengers movie again. And I think that movie followed this pattern, and it was very, very dull. But it wasn't a big deal because we have in another 2-3 movies we'll have Avengers again.
Where was Hulk? Where was Iron Man in this movie? Why did he call his friend? I'll tell you why. They couldn't afford $25 million, $50 million Robert Downey Jr. for one day of work. I'm not kidding. I think he is the highest paid actor in Hollywood.
Oh, wow. That's pretty intense.
Him or Johnny Depp. Off the top of my head, I could be wrong.
I remember Johnny Depp being the highest paid, but I think that changes hands every year. I think they have that report. I will say that the movie, when I was watching it, it made me worry that the Marvel Universe doesn't care about through plots, and it's mostly let's do a side adventure and then come back.
When you first saw it?
Let's do a side adventure and come back. Let's do a side adventure, let's come back. But not only that, in this movie, they just flat out disregard pretty much everything that happens in this movie. They never bring up the Convergence again. They never, other than the ether being collected as an Infinity Stone, they never reference it. The plot device, the ending discovery of Thor saying, I want to be with Jane, I don't care about being the king, totally disregarded in the third one. Jane is nowhere to be found, and he becomes the king. And the whole Loki taking over the throne thing, that was immediately just brushed aside.
Because they're like, okay, this all stupid.
Yeah, they pretty much retconned this whole movie out of the universe by what happened. The win. So
I just can't wait till we talk about a good Thor movie that is unanimously good.
It is unanimously good. I don't think anyone argues against Ragnarok being a good movie.
I know one person, not in real life.
Maybe someone who's particular about actual Ragnarok and how it didn't touch enough of those things.
No.
Anyway, so this movie.
It's so lacking in substance. You don't take away anything from it. Look at us.
I'm ready to rate this movie.
Yeah, how far are we? Barely.
Oh, we're maybe a half hour, maybe. Yeah, right there. I think I'm ready to rate this movie. I think it, for me, is a 6.57. I have nothing funny to think of for the rating system. Maybe 6.57 green juice pill bottles out of 10. What was in there? I just don't know. It was a juice.
Oh, also, Thor's mom dies in this movie.
Oh yeah.
See,
it actually, you feel it.
Yeah.
I remember that being good.
The music.
They have a very touching service.
It's very tangled. They have the lanterns flying up.
Yeah, they do the light show thing where they send the little...
Which, considering I think Tangled came out in 2011, maybe 12.
Oh, don't tell me they're stealing ideas. It's very possible.
Well, they're both Disney.
Exactly. 2010. So, yeah, it came 3 years later. So they clearly stole that from themselves.
So it can't be copyrighted. Yeah. Oh, Battleship. Let's talk about that movie. So, what was I talking about?
So the Frigga,
Friggin' Frigga.
friggin' Frigga died.
Wait, Frigga. Frigga is something different.
No, that's her name.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, it is.
No.
I will bet your life.
It's not Frigga. Oh, her name is Frigga. I'm dumb.
Yeah.
I
I know what's up.
There's another person on YouTube who does things with mythology, and I didn't know this person.
See, the Marvel Universe has a tendency to add an A so you know it's a female. So, for example, in the Norse mythology, like it says right here, in Norse mythology for smart people, Frigga is actually Frigg.
Okay.
And Hela is
Hell.
With one L. That's it.
Are we sure?
Yep.
Are you sure it's not 3 L's?
Hell. Being.
Okay.
Nailed it.
So I think I'd give this a 6.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give it a 6.5.
Yeah.
That's where I lean. So.
6.
But what did you rate the Hulk? Are you really saying it's worse than the Hulk? No.
No.
The watching of this movie is great.
Watching this movie is far more enjoyable than watching the Hulk. So technically, did I rate the
I think
Hulk?
what we
Did I
should
rate
do
that
is
one a
just
6?
retroactively give the Hulk less points.
Yes.
So whatever the Hulk is, +1. But lower than...
-1.
Well, whatever the Hulk got, it gets 1 less now.
Yes.
So if we gave it a 6, it gets a 5. If we gave it a 7, first of all, we're being far too generous.
Yeah.
It deserves a 5. Just a 5. We
if-
give it a 5
Yes.
out of 10.
So this,
Which is an F.
So this is, I think, a 6. Which,
Is a D.
if we give it,
I'm just saying, on
if
a
we
10
were the American
scale,
education system, if we
the
were-
10 scale for movies is based on letter grades. That's how people actually do them. 7 is very normal.
we don't have to be the education system.
I'm not saying we're the education system. I'm saying how movies are actually rated. When people say a 7 out of 10, they mean it's very average. When it's above the average score. The average score being 5.
Okay, then yeah, 6 Mew Mews out of 10.
Ah, Mew Mew. Mew Mew.
Wait, didn't we write notes for this?
Nope.
could've
I
sworn we
wrote
did.
some notes about what we were going to talk about, but they were it was all so forgettable. We just
Yeah.
moved on.
Gah.
Here let's go into the notes.
Now let's watch an awesome movie called Captain America: The Winter Soldier, which you have not seen.
It's true. I've tried to start it like 3 times, but my life just got in the way. And I've seen so many Marvel since that it, does it even matter?
Technically, no.
Well, that's what I was wondering.
I mean,
so.
it's when it happened, it was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna change everything, and then they move it aside. They basically finish it up in the second at the beginning.
Oh
of
man, we have some good notes in here.
But yeah, what Doctor Strange and what?
Well, the first thing we said, next time we're going to review the notes, but this one, just know that these notes are so good. They're so good, we can never talk about them. But, oh man, we've got some cool stuff in here.
So, continue with us on our journey to Endgame. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Come back.
No.